Hi everyone. I just want to make sure that I'm live. So if anyone is live, just drop a message, and after that we will get right to this. So there is a 5 seconds delay in the stream. I'm still waiting for me to go live on my YouTube app. If anyone is live right now, just drop a message in the live chat, in the YouTube live chat. Waiting for your message. If anyone is live right now. Hi guys, if anyone is live right now and seeing this, send a message. So after I see someone else who is not me, send a message. I will start the stream right away. There are 5 people saying it, so I'm assuming it's me from more than a single system. Wait, let me add a banner. Okay, there are 2 people. Sivanagraju is here, Sujna is here. Hi. Prabhu, don't call me sir. Just call me Jashwant. It's completely fine. So let's. There are 3 people already here. Hi, thank you for joining. It means a lot. I will give my 100% and hope that this webinar will give you experience of a web developer who has at least 6 months of experience. So all the slides that you're seeing now will be uploaded to a group, to a Facebook group. Hi Chetan, glad to meet you. It's not sir, just if you call me Jashwant, it's great. No need to address me as sir. To get started, let me add. That's good going. One second. We will wait for maybe like 6:10 or 6:05. So everyone will be here. At least few of the people will be here. So one thing. So all the slides, the video, everything will be added to this specific group. I'm posting in the comments now. Okay, there you go. That's the group. Just by the end of the webinar, please make sure that you join there. So it's not going to be just a single webinar. It's going to be a multitude of webinars, which means there will be more than a single webinar held like this. So this webinar is completely for building the strong basics. So if we have strong basics sorted, then we can build our web career foundation on the strong foundation that we have laid. If the foundation is not right, then we cannot build a greater career on this. So we will take some time. Today, it will be completely on, we will concentrate on the basics. We will understand what a domain is, what hosting is, what makes a good hosting, and there are many types of hostings out there, and what are they, and how does a request goes from your mobile device to the server, and how does the server send the request back to you. So all those will be covered in this webinar itself. In the first, during this class of the webinar. So you can see at the bottom here, you can see it. So first day we will just concentrate on building the basics. Second day we will try to understand what is very apt for you. On the third day we will actually get a hands-on experience on building our own websites. So that's it. And Where do I register for this program? Which program? Like this program, you're already registered, so you just have to go to the group. If you go to the group and join the group, you will be approved by the day's end. And after you are approved, we will take your email from you, or we already have your email maybe. So we will send all the details that you need, and we will also make sure that we update the same thing in the group. The full-fledged webinar, this is the first part, is introduction. The 3 days will be introduction to the entire web development career. So the entire boot camp, we are still working on it, and we will keep you updated in the group. So thank you, Prabhu, for the question. I think we already have enough people here. There are 13 people watching. That's incredible. Thank you for joining. Now I will get right to it. So I will become very small now. So don't mind it, or maybe I will go full on. Like let me keep this. So okay, this is more important, and let me get rid of this banner right here. And I will keep seeing your comments. If you have any doubts, what I will do is after every 45 minutes we will take a break. During that break, you can just ask questions in the comments. If you ask questions, I will answer them immediately. If you have any if you have any immediate questions that needs to be answered, just post them away. I will answer them immediately. I just want this session to be completely engaging. So whatever you have the questions, and this is a very good time to get those questions answered. This webinar is called Essential Training on Web Development. So we will not go into the deepest part of web development. We won't write code in it, but we will build our websites. This is our promise that we are making to you, that by the end of this webinar, you will be able to build your own website. And you can take your business online. If you are a person who already have a business, you can take that business online by having the knowledge, by using the knowledge that you gain from this webinar. You can build websites for other businesses who need websites. Right now, this is the time of pandemic and businesses are going online. So okay, let me keep it this way. So businesses are going online and they need help of web developers to do that. And you, with this skill, can take all those businesses online. It's you need the right hosting, you need a domain name, but we will cover all those in next couple of minutes. So you can do all this by the end of the webinar. So about me, my name is Jashwant. I have been working as a web developer from past 5 years. I have an experience working with more than 50 different businesses, and I help them take their businesses online and also build their businesses. So in these 2 days, sorry for the distance. So in this, it's in these 3 days, we will learn the web fundamentals. There are many ways to build a website, and we will cover all those. Then we will dive into terminologies. So what do I mean by terminology? So if you see in any website, there is a header, means the navigation where where you see buttons and you click them. And at the bottom, you will see a strip which is called the footer, where they will have the phone number. If they're accepting credit cards, they will add all those details there. So I strongly believe when you're starting a new career or changing your career, it's very essential to understand the language that they speak. You cannot be a good doctor if you don't know what knives are, what is involved in a surgery, and if you don't know the actual words for the internal organs, you cannot be a good doctor. In the same sense, if you don't know the actual terminologies that are used in web development, you cannot be a good web developer. So instead of learning each day, like it's still a good way to learn by each day. But if you know everything, if you know the terminologies before getting started, it's insanely good, and you will understand like everything you do. You will have a better picture on what you're actually doing. Then we will go to fundamentals of WordPress. Forget what WordPress is. We will cover it. Just remember, it's a terminology again. And we will go to WordPress dashboard. And finally, at the end of the third day, we will start building our own websites. Again, don't worry if I fail to help you build a website, but if I fail to deliver the skills that you need to design a website by the end of the webinar, don't worry, there will be more webinars coming. So all of them will be free, webinars will be free, there will be no cost included with it. So don't worry, we will be able to do it. May not be in this webinar, but by the next webinar, we will be able to do it. My strong intention in this webinar is to deliver absolute value. So you will be getting that for sure. So that is what we will be covering in the 3 days. So let's directly start with the web fundamentals. So again, in web fundamentals, there are different things that we have to cover. The different things are, the first thing we have to understand what internet is and what an IP address is. Then we will understand what domain is. Then we will go into understanding what website is, and then we will cover what hosting is. These words are actually foreign to me when I started web development. I didn't know when I started web development, but the mistakes I made, you shouldn't, or anyone else shouldn't make the same mistakes that someone else made. So before starting web development, you will learn all this. You don't code, but you will understand what a website is and what makes a good website. You will learn what a domain name is, and in detail, you will understand there are different things in a domain name. So you will understand each and everything in a domain name. And hosting, there are different hostings, and you will understand each of them in detail. So there will not be like, you won't need to Google search after you complete this webinar. You don't need to ask someone else what hosting is, because you will be given enough knowledge that you will understand in detail what hosting is. So what is internet? So basically internet, when we say internet, it's very ambiguous term. So it itself is like a very big, it itself has a very big meaning. So the definition that most people refer to for a internet is global network of interconnected devices that talk to each other. And at the same time, they also share the information. So for example, if I take this mobile and if I send a message to you, if I send a message from this mobile to your mobile, let's say I send a message to Prabhu Kalyan. Okay. I send a message to Prabhu Kalyan, it's in the internet. He can either accept it, he can take the message, and he can even respond to that message. So all these devices, not just mine and Prabhu Kalyan, all our devices are connected through a network, and we can communicate with each other. It's not like if he speaks, you can only listen, you can block them. Like if Prabhu Kalyan doesn't want a message from me, he can block me. So it's not just, it's not superimposed on every internet user. We actually control what we take. We actually control what we receive or send. So that's the basic definition, but there are different things involved in it. There are devices which are capable of talking. So if we break down what the definition says, it says there is a network. So there are connections. So when my device, and say this is Prabhu Kalyan's device, we are saying both are interconnected, but we don't see any connection between them. Yes, of course, there is Wi-Fi connecting internet to my mobile, but how is Prabhu Kalyan's device is able to connect to my device? There are also talking. There means there needs to be a medium in between these two devices, right? So what is that? It's explained in the second slide. So internet is made up of two things. One is the information. So when I say information, it can be a simple WhatsApp message. It can be a Facebook post. It can also be this video that you're seeing now. This is also information. Anything that is on internet is called information. So what is the infrastructure then? As we said, there is something which is connecting these two devices. Second thing is the infrastructure. Infrastructure enables the internet to run. So there are actual cables under the oceans, which when I send a message, it goes to my router, and after some time it goes to cables which are under the ocean. It's actually interesting when we think the internet is actually wireless. It's not wireless for most of the cases. If I am sending a message to my friend in Canada, most of the transmission, sorry, most of the data actually goes through cables which are under the ocean. It's very interesting. Like I will get some pictures tomorrow to show you how they actually look. And there are routers. So I will show you what a router is. You can think of the simplest form of router that we have seen is our Wi-Fi router itself. So it takes multiple requests. So you, your brother, your mother, your father, and also your smart TV is all of them are connected to the same router. And that router is routing all the connections. Let's say, again, this is the phone, and let's say there is a router. Imagine there are 5 other mobile phones here. This router takes all the requests. It understands which request to forward. So if I am sending and Prabhu Kalyan is receiving that information, first thing I send a request, and Prabhu Kalyan's nearest router is the Wi-Fi router that he has. It understands to which person that the router has to send the information. So those are routers. They route the connections and they decide to which person that this connection has to go. So that is the infrastructure and that is the information. So both, when both are working in harmony, that's what internet is. It is the combination. It is the information which is traveling on the infrastructure. So that's what internet is. So as I said, infrastructure, information and delivery infrastructure, we have to talk more about this. Again, when I'm sending a message to someone, when I'm sending, let's take Chetan now. If Chetan and I am like, let me open our own website. You have registered at this website, right? One second, let me open a window. Okay. So this is the website that you have registered for the webinar. Okay. Sorry. So you have seen, let me minimize this and let's see. So this is the website that you have registered for. So you can see there are so many things. For instance, there is my image in here. So this image has to be placed somewhere. All this text, all this code has to be placed somewhere. That somewhere is the server. So we have to save our information, our images, our code, videos, anything. We have to save them in some place. It has to be a memory device primarily. So we need to save all the information in a memory device. So that memory device is server. So when people say server, like it's a very technical term. What actually makes a server is a computer is a server. That's it. Your laptop or your mobile, anything can act as a server. What makes a server very specific or very different from our devices is they can be accessed through the internet. So if you want to access a website, which is stored, if you think this is a website, it is stored on a hosting server. So this is the website, which is the content, it is stored on a server. What is the job done by JavaScript? So Soumyadeep, let me write down this question. The quick answer will be JavaScript is mostly for creating interactions between the elements. If you want to manipulate, or if you want to handle things in the website, then you use JavaScript. Like if you want to add any functionality per se, you need JavaScript. This is covered in the third thing. Like, let me show you where we will go slowly. I'm going there. WP. Open this website. So in this thing, many ways to build the website. The second thing, we will cover what HTML is, what CSS is, what JavaScript is. Just that topic we will start talking about from tomorrow. Okay, Soumyadeep, that's a really good question. what JavaScript is, but that's a little bit ahead. So that will be covered tomorrow. Just imagine that you need to add some functionality to anything on the website, then you need JavaScript. Okay, going back to it. So all the information is stored in servers. Don't just call me Jashwant, it's completely fine. No need to address me as sir. As this is saying, as the slide is saying, servers are just computers which are configured to receive and deliver requests. So our mobile phone is configured to receive messages, but we haven't configured it to receive HTTP requests. Like, forget what HTTP is. That is information coming through a specific port. Sure, that's good. So I can see you tomorrow also, Swami. Thank you. So there are that's what servers are. Servers are special computers which are configured to receive information and also deliver information. So there are millions of servers in the internet. So how do you access a information which is on a specific server? So there is so much of information out there. Let's say there is a video on YouTube, but we don't know YouTube's name, but we still have to access the video. Again, you want to access a video, you don't know its address, you just know that there is something information out there. So at the very beginning days of the internet, it was very easy because there were only few servers out there. There may be half a dozen servers when the internet was actually invented. Then it was easy because there were only 2 to 3 servers. But now there are millions of servers. To access the information now, we need addresses. They are called IP addresses, which stands for Internet Protocol Addresses, which helps us to identify our servers. So they are IP addresses. But why? Again, IP addresses are like our home addresses. They are very easy. It's like when you think of your home, this is very diverting from it is taking attention away from the slide. So I will just go back, or let's go forward. Okay, where was I? So our home is very hard to identify in India. Like, if someone asks Jashwant's home from someone who is in India, it's nearly impossible. It's impossible, literally impossible for anyone to identify my home. That's why we came up with home addresses. Home addresses, this is the shortest form, but you know that there will be road number and everything following that. Remember, it was very hard just for a single person address to be identified in the country. The country is the biggest portion after the continent. So imagine how difficult it will be to pick information from the webinar, from the server, and take the information. So it's nearly impossible to pick the information or identify information from an IP, from a server. That's why IP addresses are created in the very early days. So I'm not talking about now. It was like when internet was invented, it was becoming hard. So every server will be identified by an IP address. Just like how every home will be identified by a home address. The same way we have IP addresses. A live example. Let me show you a live example how IP addresses are in real. Okay. So let me open this. Okay, this is very small, so I will go away for a fraction of first couple of minutes. I hope that you can see this one better. So this is CMD. I primarily use a command to find the IP address. So let's say you have 2 websites here, right? Google and Facebook. Let me do this. Let's ping facebook.com. Ping is a short command which you are just trying to touch it. One second. So if this is a server and this is you just touch it once. So if you touch it once, you can understand whether the server is working or not. And immediately when you touch, that means you communicate with the website, it will send back information. So that's what ping is. You just send a small nudge to it, and you understand whether it's working or not, what's happening with it, where it is. You get all those information. So ping, this is in Windows. You open the CMD. Okay, let me start it again. I think I have done it way too quick. So you open Windows and you type run. In run, open, like in open, type CMD. After you open CMD, you type a command which is called ping, followed by the domain, like website name. Let's say the most popular one, let's say it's facebook.com. When you enter facebook.com, in response, you're getting something here. So this is the IP address. So if I use the IP, I copied it. So I copied it and pasting it in the browser. And if I paste the IP address in the browser, see what happens. It's automatically taking me to the website. So this is the website. It has taken me to the website. The website, I use the IP address which is in between. So this is the server's IP address. And this is how IP addresses look like. Okay. So let's extend from the same point here. We know what IP addresses are very well. I have spent too much time, but don't worry. We have 2 more days to go. So you have seen this. You have seen what IP address is. And to access a domain or a website like Facebook, you are going to use the IP address. So you have accessed the domain with the IP address. So that's one single website that you have accessed with the IP address. Now imagine you have to do it for google.com also. So you can get the IP of the google.com with doing the same thing. Also, let me do this. Let's ping google.com. We are getting another IP here. Wait. I copied it, right clicking, copies it. Let's go to Google, same address bar, and type this. We have, like, just by using the IP address, we are going to the domain name. This is how people used to access it way back when the internet was invented, and there were so many little websites. But now there are hundreds of websites. You on a day access at least 10 to 12 websites. Like, to register to this webinar, you visited my website, which is LearnWP. Let me show it. You have visited this website, which is learnwp.codegnan.com. So instead of having this link, if I shared you the domain, instead of having the domain name, if I shared you the IP address, it would be very difficult, right? So that's what was happening with the internet. It was becoming very difficult to remember all the IP addresses. So but things got very difficult very soon, and to make things easier, domain names were introduced. So domain names, for example, are just1ch.com, my other website, amazon.in, codegnan.com, or google.com. These are the examples of domains. So this makes things easy. Like, it's so easy. If you want to visit a website, you just send google.com. That's it. Or google.in. So what is .in? What is .com? And any other things that comes after the name, what are they? We will just discuss it very, like, in a brief moment. So these are domains. So why did domains came into the existence? Because IP addresses are very hard to remember. Again, why did IP addresses came into existence? Because there were so many servers and remembering them was very difficult. So IP addresses came. IP addresses were also difficult after some time. So that's why domain names came. These are the name of a website is called a domain. So then there are some things which are called subdomains. So subdomains are part of domains, but they do something. Registration link. Sure. Wait. I'm writing them down. Also, if you, I forgot to tell you, just take a notebook and a pen. Write things which you think are very interesting, or if you think you will forget them in the future, just write them down. I do it every time I am learning something. I also recommend you to do it. Take a notebook, take a pen. I'm writing Soumidip's question. Registration link. in the comments. I will surely do it, Soumyadeep. So you asked a question. This is the second one. I wrote it down. Okay. Registration link. I will post it in the comments. So what is a subdomain? So subdomain is if there is this is the domain name, and the thing which is highlighted in the yellow is called the subdomain. So subdomain, there are so many things in the internet which are very vague. So we cannot go by the definition that everyone is referring to. So we use some other definition. That's what we will be doing in this webinar. We will not use the traditional definitions per se, because they have been made like dozens of years ago and they don't make much sense now. So subdomain is additional place where you can put things which are under the main business, but they are not directly the business. Like they do not actually represent it, but they also do it. Like Samsung. So YouTube.com is a video streaming platform. You watch videos there. You watch videos in the YouTube.com. But there is a new app from YouTube itself, which is called YouTube Music. So YouTube cannot directly push just music things in their main website because they are video streaming platform. But they want it to be under the brand of YouTube. They want it to be YouTube, but they don't want it to be under their main website. So what they did was, so let's open YouTube here. So if you see, this is the main website. This is a video streaming platform. They don't want it to be here. So what they did is they did music.youtube.com. So what's in the music.youtube.com? It's just music. It's just songs. They don't have any videos out there. They might have videos, but the intention is to create a product under the same brand name. Again, let's take the same example of learnwp.codegnan.com. The main domain is codegnan.com, right? So let's view what codegnan.com does. Codegnan.com. Your website guest1cs.com is very cool. Thank you, Prabhu. I'm still working on it. It's like it's under construction. It's not yet done. So this is the main Codegnan.com website. So they mainly do cutting edge IT teaching. So WordPress is not cutting edge per se. So see the courses. There are Python, there is machine learning, there is web development with Python, there is also React.js, Internet of Things, augmented reality. You can learn AI from them. There is also Python MTA certification. Let's see the website a bit. So this is a website. There's so many testimonials. You can sign up. There are boot camps on there. So if we see the boot camp, second. Okay, let's see this. They are Microsoft. So this is a website for Codegnan. They don't actually teach WordPress, but I approached Codegnan and told them that I will do the WordPress training part. Let me do it. But Codegnan is bleeding edge IT trainers. They don't do WordPress stuff, but WordPress is incredible. So what we did was, we didn't do it on the main domain, main website. So what we did is we created a subdomain, which is LearnWP. If you see the highlighted part, it is called it's called LearnWP, which stands for, okay, let me make this bigger. You can see it better now. One second. It's called LearnWP, which means you learn WP, which stands for WordPress. You are going to learn WordPress from this thing. Okay. If you go to the end, you can see we are going to deal with WordPress. Interesting fact about WordPress, which we will cover in the later part, is, Jashan, please, difference between .com. Yes, that will come immediately. Let me show it to you, Prabhu. Prabhu asked a question. Let me, I forgot. We can add these things. You can see, like, can you see at the bottom? Wait, let me make it myself bigger. See, the Prabhu added a comment there. I forgot that I can add them. No, I added them. So Prabhu, thanks for the comment. So he's asking what's the difference between .com, .in, .io, or anything else. I will cover them. Just give me a couple of minutes, because let me tell you, it's right here. It's right here. See, those are extensions. I will cover them. Just give me a couple of minutes. Okay. Where were we? So I'm talking about the subdomains. LearnWP is a subdomain for Codegnan because they don't directly deal, like the main thing Codegnan does is IT training on bleeding edge technologies. AR, you can learn AR, you can learn IoT, you can React, you can learn React, machine learning, artificial intelligence. There's so many things that you can learn from Codegnan. And so as WordPress has been there from ages, that's not actually bleeding edge. So we put it in a different place, which is LearnWP. WP stands for WordPress. 1 second, let me, people are asking. So let me do this. Let me drop the registration link. If you are registered, what will happen is you will receive, every day you will receive a, sure, Hemulata. 1 second, I'm just, so that's the website link. In the website link, you can see where you can like register for a hands-on webinar. So that's where you can register for the webinar. Go ahead. Thank you for asking it again. So let me see. Let me see if I can pin it. Sai, can please pin the links with the webinar, comment both the website link and also the Facebook groups link. Comment it and pin it. So there will be a pinned comment in the stream. Just go there and use those links to go like to the places that you want. So let's get back to the webinar. So I'm assuming that you have understood what subdomain is. So subdomain is something which is before the main domain name. That's LearnWP here. Sometimes it's music.youtube.com. Sometimes it music.amazon.in. Amazon also have the same thing. So I hope that it's clear for you. Even though we take a lot of time in building all these things, just let me tell you, it will the benefits that you see out of having strong fundamentals is way better than anything. The strong fundamentals can take us to places which we imagine us to be. So we have established certain things. We have definitely established certain things. We know what a domain is. Domain is the name of the website. Google.com is the name of the website. We understood what subdomains are. Now let's see what TLDs are. Okay, let's go back. Let me full screen this. Okay. I think I like using my gestures, and I think it helps with the teaching stuff. So that's there. Prabhukalan asked a question, what does a .com, .in, .io means? So all of them which come after, so this entire thing, I will also cover what HTTPS is in a very short while, but before that, just forget that there is HTTPS here. This is subdomain. www is subdomain. You can access websites without actually using subdomains. In my website's case, I don't even add www. It's just learnwp.codegnan.com. That's it. There is no subdomain for my website. And there, remember, this is the funniest stuff. There can be a subdomain to a subdomain itself. If you see government websites, there will be so many subdomains and subdomains. There will be subdomain for a subdomain. So it's like the inception, a dream within a dream within a dream. So there are levels of subdomains. Now let's see this. Domain name is webhostinginsights.com is the domain name. In this, .com is the extension. So extension says something about the website itself. Website is webhostinginsights.com. Webhosting Insights is the website, and .com says something about it. .com actually refers to commercial. So when you're adding a .com, it used to mean, as I'm stressing this, it used to be, but it's not the same case anymore. .com is also the very first extension that came into existence. So .com was the first thing. So it was used for commercial things. If you are running a business, then you get the .com extension. If you are doing an organization, if you are a non-profit organization, and if you are not a company and you are more like an organization, then you would have gone for .org. Like, let me tell you, like there is a website. Let me minimize this. Like if you see Wikipedia has .org. So it's mainly a not-for-profit organization. It was intended to be not-for-profit, but now any organization or any person also can take a .org extension. Okay, that's one thing. So .in stands for India. In is India. There are two types of extensions. One is generic TLDs. One second, I'm missing this. So one is for generic TLDs, one is country TLDs. So CC TLDs are .in, .uk, .us, .aus, which is for Australia. All of them which have country's name at the end are called CC TLDs, country code TLDs. So .com, you see that is called a top level domain. So on everything, like it is before everything. That is why it is called a TLD, which is top level domain. So there's like those all are TLDs, Prabhu. Like you asked before, what the difference? There is complete difference. Everything has its own use case. If we are an Indian company and want to be represented as an Indian company, you go with .in, and you will also take the .com, and you redirect it from .com to .in because you want to be seen as a Indian company. And let me take a small sip of water. So that's it. You now know a lot, very important aspects of what a domain is, what a subdomain is, and what a TLD is. If you have any question regarding any of this, drop a comment. We will discuss it in like 10 minutes. After an hour, like 50 minutes, we will do it. We will take the questions and answer it. That's very clear. Thank you, Prabhu. en.es is not an US is an extension. As you can see, US is United States. So just like IN, which is a country code TLD, like countries will be given a TLD. Like India will be given the rights to have .in. In the same way, US will be given to have the extensions to United States. That's very clear. Thank you. So let me tell you an interesting story, but I don't have it in the back of my mind, but let me Google it. So a country, like there is a recent growth. So this is not the webinar related thing. I just want it to be interactive. I just want it to be interesting. So I have a friend who works in, maybe I shouldn't say he works in a very big MNC. They are pioneers in engineering, and he works as a blockchain engineer in that company. He is like a brother to me. So he used to buy domains, hold them, and if someone needs the domains, he will sell them to them. He will sell them to you. Like let's say Prabhu Kalyan is planning to design his website, or EDU. Yes, EDU is a generic TLD, which stands for educational websites. One second. So see this. How do I show this? So Manikanda has asked a question here. Or EDU. EDU stands for educational websites. So Harvard is one of the best institutions, universities in the entire world. So what they do is, instead of going for a .com, if you are hearing a disturbance, just tell me. I will pause for a moment. If it's fine, I will continue. .edu is an educational website. Let me open harvard.edu very quickly. Harvard. Let me type just Harvard, and you can see Harvard uses an EDU. There is one more very interesting question that Prabhu has asked. Prabhu, I like you a lot. You are very interested. Just join the group. You will learn a lot. If you have any problem, you ping me personally, and I will be in the group. Okay, I will take it slowly. So I think you understood what EDU is. Let's take another question by Prabhu. So Prabhu is asking, is it possible to create our own extensions? So I'm taking time to appreciate Prabhu's enthusiasm in learning things. This entire webinar's intention was to give information that I have learned, and you are asking the right questions. They are very like you are thinking a bit more, and that's what we need. Enthusiasm is what drives creativity, and it what drives our learning and careers forward. Very good question. Let me tell you, I recently saw an extension, and you also know that extension. It's .sbi, which stands for State Bank of India. Let's see, bank, I think it's bank.sbi. It's not redirecting now. Bank. See, this is what I'm talking about. See this, the URL here. I'm pretty sure you cannot like, wait, I will go full screen now. And you see this. This is an extension, .sbi. .sbi is the extension. So what they do is they go to an organization called ICANN. So it's the organization which looks after the internet. So it's a not-for-profit organization. They don't do it for profit. They are the regulatory body. So .sbi went to ICANN, International, I forgot the name, networks and something, but they take care of the entire internet. So SBI went to them, asked them, we need a .sbi, please give it to us, sir. They said, it will cost you money and you have to take care of it. Then they gave the SBI TLD to SBI. No one can use it except SBI. They can give it to you, but they won't. Like in normal cases, they won't. If our Prime Minister requests for an SBI TLD, then he might get it because he can, like he's our Prime Minister. So those are the instances for which you take care of a TLD. There are other instances where people got TLDs. Google used to have .dev TLD, but they have opened it. Like I think Prabhu Kiran will definitely become a web developer in the future. So I'm expecting Prabhu Kalyan.dev is what you will need. So really, like you cannot buy .dev TLD because just like SBI, it was with Google. Google has the complete rights to it. But now what Google did is, okay, we have enough and people might actually benefit from it. Then what will we do? We will just give as like .dev to Prabhu Kiran or someone or anyone who is asking for a .dev extension. So Internet Corporate, that's the man. He is the man. Prabhu, thank you, man. You helped me out. So ICANN stands for Internet Corporation for Assigned Names and Numbers. Thank you. I forgot. I should have. So this is the, okay. Let me tell you why I don't remember it on top of my head. So it's basically a definition. I didn't go through it enough times and I didn't write it down anywhere. So that's why I forgot. I should have written it down, but I was not thinking of going in that deep. So if I was going, I would have made the notes and written it somewhere or added in the slide notes, but I didn't. Thank you, Prabhu Kiran, for adding it there. How to get space? Space is hosting. We will go there. Just give me like a couple of minutes. We are nearly there. I will also make a domain and hosting. So Hemalata Devi Garu. So space is where we host our website. The right terminology is hosting. I used to confuse like why I need to buy hosting when I already have a domain. I used to get confused like until 6 months. And I don't want you to be confused for 6 months. So by the end of 3 days, you will know what the actual difference is. You can even host your own website. So space is hosting. No, Hostinger, yes, you can use Hostinger, but there are other very decent options out there, which we will slowly cover. but giving like hosting it. Let me, how to get a space, that was the question asked, like space. Why are we still seeing the SBI screen? Okay, let's we don't need SBI, so we will go there and let's see. So this is what you need, Hemalata Garu. So that those are the things that you need. You need CPU, you need RAM, you need secondary memory, also you need bandwidth. Those are the things that we need, which we will slowly cover. And one of the hosting providers is Hostinger, as Saumedeep suggested something. Saumedeep said hosting. Yes, Hostinger is one of those hosting providers. They do provide. I'm also currently using Hostinger to host my main website. Just1ch.com is on Hostinger. Let's go back a little bit. We are right here. Let's talk about encryption. I personally think this is the most important, let's say, most essential thing in for websites which are hosted anywhere these days, and you should be very careful on which website that you are visiting. Okay, let me like for 2 minutes, for 1 minute, I just want to tell you something. If you think someone can benefit out of this, like this, I will try to make every session this engaging and with these many examples. Like time is the secondary thing I think about. Like even if we take 3 more hours and it gives you 1 month more knowledge, so it doesn't matter. Time is secondary. The one thing I like, we as a team at Codegnan, what we think is we don't care about time. We just care about how much things that you're learning out of this webinar. I hope this has been engaging. Ashwant, good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm very happy to have you all here. Thank you for joining. So I will try to make all the sessions, not just this webinar, but every webinar I do, try to answer every question and try to give as much as knowledge that I have into your heads. I will just take this stuff out of my head and just give it to you. I think GitHub is best provider to host our small websites. Yes, Manikanta, my brother is using GitHub pages right now to host static pages. Those are static pages, as you know. So that's a very good way to do it. The only thing we are not going to touch on GitHub pages, as Manikanta said, is like even to set up a GitHub page, you will need a GitHub repo. So let's just forget about it. Just forget about it. Let's keep Ashwant Kumar comment here. He said, good evening. Good evening, sir. If you are older than me, good evening, sir. Okay, let's get back to it. If you know anyone who can benefit from this session, ask him or her to register for the webinar, or ask him or her to join the WordPress group. I am there already. If anyone has any questions, you can directly drop a message directly to me or ask in the group. If the benefit of asking in the group is, most of the times people who are at a same learning phase have similar questions. So what's the difference between hosting and domain or server? All these early questions come because we just started learning, and it's the best thing to get doubts and get them clarified. So if you ask the questions in the group, you not only get the answer to yourself, but people who are going to ask the question later will also get them solved. So that's the benefit of posting things in the group. They will be answered for everyone to see. So just ask them, anyone, like they will be friends of yours who are just completing their last year graduation, or friends of yours who are looking for a job or changing careers. So this can actually help them kickstart their web development career. So we are just touching the actual topic. So it will be way more interesting. Ask them to join now, or this will be entire thing will be recorded and uploaded to the WordPress group that we just said, the Facebook group that we just said. The Facebook group would have already been added in the comments. It would have been already pinned. So join the group, share the group with people who might actually benefit from it. That's it. That's the announcement. It's done. So no more that. Let's get back to it. So we're talking about encryption. So HTTPS. So HTTPS, so we have to understand what HTTP means. Then we can understand what HTTPS means. So one Prabhu Kalyan, sorry, I got your name wrong. Prabhu Kalyan asked me to share the presentation. Everything that we do in this video will be in the group. So everything in the group, it will be in the group. The slides will be in the group. The video will be in the group. There will be a PDF that we are going to make. It will be in the group. All the resources that you will ever need to start, to learn things, to relearn things. Application layer protocol. Soumyadeep knows a lot of stuff. So that's true. So where was I? So I will share the presentation in the group. That's for sure. So HTTP means Hypertext Transfer Protocol. So it's the simplest form of protocol in the internet that will get access to the web pages that you have. So if you want to see the web pages, then you ping the server with a HTTP protocol, then it will give you the text. If you're doing something else, if you there are some other protocols which will give you access to. Yes, Kirti Sudha. Let me pin Soumyadeep's answer first. It's an application layer protocol. Yes, exactly. I just don't want to go that technical, but the answer is correct. Thank you, Soumyadeep. It's not secured, yes. So HTTP without the S means it's not secured. So what's the problem with not having a secured link? So why even we use a secure link? So HTTP means Hypertext Transfer Protocol. And HTTPS means Hypertext Transfer Protocol, which is secured. It is secured HTTP link. So why are we even securing it? So first thing we have to understand, what does secured means. Secured actually means it is encrypted. Encrypting means there is a code which encrypts it. Let's say me and Soumyadeep are talking. So we are talking about something. Soumyadeep, which language do you speak? Just say, please say Hindi or English or Telugu. I just speak those three languages only. Like, let's say Soumyadeep speaks, let's say he speaks Hindi. I can speak Hindi a little bit. I can manage Hindi. So we both are talking in Hindi. So we were talking something very personal, which was like one of our friends is going through something. We are talking about that. Let me make this bigger. So let me take a couple of things here. Okay, this will fit. Ciphering test. Thank you, Soumyadeep. So this is like this. Imagine the person without the cap is me, and the person with the click is Soumyadeep. This is Soumyadeep and this is me. We both are talking, and when we are talking about a mutual friend. Someone, let's say his name is Ramesh Babu. We're talking about Ramesh Babu, and Ramesh Babu friends comes in between. Now there is Ramesh Babu here. I am Ramesh Babu. So I'm Ramesh Babu, and these two guys are talking. So they don't want me to understand what they're talking because they're talking about something I know. Or it's more personal. So they don't want me to know what they're talking. So what they do is, instead of saying, hi, Jashwant, they will add K at the end of everything. It's easy to understand for anyone, but it's the simplest form of ciphering or adding data to make it less recognizable. That's what we do. We make the data not understandable by a person who doesn't know what we are adding to it. So instead of saying, hi, Jashwant, he will say HKIJSWKANTH. So what Soumyadeep is doing, he is adding K in the middle of this every word. So HKA doesn't make a lot of sense. But when you see Jashwant and you know my name, you can understand you're talking about Jashwant. So this is an example of encryption. Not an encryption, but encoding it. So I think you get the idea. We do it sometimes to make it not understandable to everyone who is listening to the conversation that we are having. So that's what we are doing. We are making the conversation or the information transfer we are going to get a bit technical. We are going to make the information transfer between these two persons not understandable by everyone, because we are doing something personal, private, or which we don't want to. Manikanta, thank you. Or something confidential. Something confidential. That's it. Something confidential. It's more apt. Something confidential. So that's when we use a S. What we do is we encrypt the entire thing. Okay, we encrypt the entire thing. You might think like I'm just sending a text message from my mobile to my brother's mobile. What is the need of encryption? Because it's in the same Wi-Fi. Like if you are in the same home, you are going to use the same router. You think what's the problem in sending a message without encryption? Let me show you something. Even when you send a simple message to your brother on WhatsApp or on anywhere, it doesn't go directly to him. Let me open the CMD again. It's not going to, like, it's going to be a little bit technical. I hope that you remember what ping is. Let me clear this. It doesn't work. Okay, let it be there. I'm doing nothing. I'm just creating this like spaces to like it's more readable. Okay. So this command is called trace routing. I'm showing you how a message is sent from your mobile to the server or the website. Let's do this. I will explain you what I'm doing. So encryption is very essential because it's not just from device to device. The connection is never been from device to device. It is from your mobile. Let's say this is the server. Your mobile sends a request to the server. It understands this and it sends back to my brother's mobile. This is my mobile and this is my brother's mobile. A server, this sends a request to this server and this comes back to this. And this connection is not a simple connection. So I hope that you can see this. Let me go off for a while. Let me explain what's happening here. First thing, this is everything that you're seeing here is the connections that go like this. Last thing is Google. So that's what Google.com. That's where the Google.com main domain is. But before that, your connection goes to 192.168.0.1. It's normally the router's IP address. So that's where our router is. 192.168.0.1. It's default normally it's default, but you can change it. We should have changed it, but it's good to change things. So from there, from the router, it's going to see the name. By seeing the name, you can understand where it's going. It's going to an Excel subdomain. You can see this. This is a subdomain, right? DNS 147. These are DNS stands for domain name server. So let me tell you that DNS means domain name server. I forgot to bring it up earlier, but DNS stands for domain name server. It's like a phone book. Okay, let me explain what a DNS is first. So let's say this is a phone book. The phone book contains the name of the person. It used to contain the name of the person and the phone number. So that's the entire thing the phone book did. It did nothing else. It cannot call. It cannot help understand what the person, if the person is good or bad. Let's say it's Soumydeep. Soumydeep knows a lot about technology. But when you go to the phone book and open Soumydeep number, you cannot understand if Soumydeep knows anything. There is nothing there. There is just the Soumydeep's name and his mobile number. That's it, nothing more. That's what a phone book did. In the same way, DNS just gives you the domain name and its IP address. That's it. That's what DNS does. So you can have your own DNS. There is a concept which is called intranet, which is inside your own company. So there you can have your own DNS, but it's not like normally we won't use it. But when you have so many things connecting, that you have, for someone like Excel Broadband, they will have their own DNS, which is at DNS 147. They will understand where to route things. So after that, that is going to another thing within Excel. So you can consider that this DNS 147 is in Hyderabad. OIP can be in Mumbai. And from here, there are many other things that we don't know, don't have the names for. So just a single request from Google, from a mobile to google.com have 8 different hopes. It's kind of helps, like they have the data and which helps us go to the destination. So yes, they give you the information. Sorry for going off the course. So just a simple thing from your mobile to the server has 8 different hops. So if it's a server, now it will come back from the server to your mobile. Again, it will come from that 8 different routers. It will touch the 8th one, then comes the 7th, then comes the 6th, then comes the 1st. So just imagine how much information is being sent and how it's being sent, how long it's been sent. It's so long. Any place people can actually listen to this. This information can be understood if it's not encrypted. Even if you just say hi, sometimes it's as simple as hi, and sometimes it's as confidential as your social media passwords, bank passwords. All that information will go through all these routers without encryption. So people can access the information. Actually, people can access the information and use it in any way they want to. So that's why we introduced HTTPS, which is secured, which encrypts all this data, and only the server and the person who is sending the request, the servers will have that encryption key. So the request which come to it, which will understand that is not the actual information, that is the encrypted information. So it understands that is encrypted information, and it will have a key to decrypt it. So as going back to the example, me and Soumyadeep are talking, and I say, and he says HKI JSWN JSWKANTH, and he says key is minus K. Minus means removing, and K is removing K. So I get the message, and I know the key is to remove minus K, is to remove K. Then understand the actual message. This is encryption. So you understood the essence of encryption is, right? I have gone into a long way to make it more easier to understand it's very essential. It's not even essential, it's mandatory in this day and age. You have to have SSL. There is no question about it. If some websites do not have SSL, don't visit them. Like if you see someone not using SSL, come back. There are other things, other websites, other businesses which will give you the same thing. But if they don't have SSL, don't use them. That's it. Okay, that's SSL. I hope everything has been good this far. Please send feedback link, sir. We did not plan for a feedback link yet, but I think you can drop if you can drop a review at Facebook Codegnan Facebook page, because I'm Codegnan employee, so I'm part of Codegnan. If you want to give me feedback, you can give feedback to Codegnan. If you have any feedback which will help me be better, just drop it in the message or send a message on Facebook. I will make sure I will work on it for the next time. So that's what HTTPS is, and that's how important HTTPS is. It's mandatory. If they don't have it, why are we having when it's not secured? Are there any use of HTTP? So if you are let me pin this. So Srinidhi asked a question. It's a very good question. It's the one questions like this needs to come, because when we have something better, why are we using something which is not better? That's the question. If HTTPS is so good, then why do we still have HTTP? That's great question. Let me give you an example. The problem is, I just want to get an answer directly from you, but the problem is there is a delay in the stream. So I'm going to take an example of Elon Musk, who is the founder of SpaceX Tesla Motors, Solar City, I think, a boring company. He does so many innovative stuff. So he recently got his first domain name. So PayPal was his invention. Like PayPal, before PayPal, there was X.com, which was his startup, the tech startup. So let's go to X.com. See, X.com is a website. It's definitely a website, but it has zero content in it. So there is no content in it. And you can see Google is saying it's not secure. Google is giving you information. Google is giving you a visual information that it is not secure. It's just saying don't. It's not saying don't use it, but it's saying it's not secure because it's very important this day and age. Why we are like sometimes you don't need to have HTTPS. Like this website has nothing in it, so it's completely okay if you just send that information without any SSL. You can just send it. Like if we are talking like when you go to shopping malls, there is some person out helping you with the shopping. He will just say 50% off, 60% off. There is no loss for him if anyone else hears it. So even though it's like, even after that, like if this person is not like X.com is not using SSL, it's completely fine. Like as I said, if you're doing business with any website, and they're not having SSL, then come back. Like let's say just1cs.com has this. If you can see this, there is something which says connection secure. I added an SSL because you are submitting your information here. Okay, and you are submitting it. All this is you are submitting it. Your email, which is associated with your name, is a critical information. Like in India, the very unfortunate thing is privacy. We definitely care for our privacy, but people who once get the data of ours, they don't care about our privacy. They sell the mobile numbers in bulk, which is a very unfortunate thing happening. But we take privacy very seriously. That's why we add an SSL, because you need SSL. I think it's clear, Srinidhi. Sometimes you don't need SSL. X.com is an example. You don't like, there is no need. And also when you're adding encryption on top of anything, you're adding encryption. There is something definitely happening. Let's say this is the raw encrypted data, and to convert it into the data, there needs to be some process happening, right? So that actually takes time. It doesn't take significant time, but it takes a little bit of time, very little time, but that's time. So if you don't have any important information, or if you don't have any sort of information that you're taking from the user, what you can do, you can get rid of the SSL. But again, I will, like X.com is an example of such kind, but I would highly recommend that you go with SSL every time. Sometimes you don't need HTTP. Sometimes you just don't need SSL. Then you just go with HTTPS. Sorry, HTTP. I got it wrong. Let's get back to the thing. So that's it. So this has to be like, so much time has been spent. HTTPS, subdomain, name, and extension. So that's what it is. Just give me 1 minute. I'll sip of water. So what is a website? As like website by definition means related web pages under a domain name is a website. That's the definition normally following so that's what make the website's name. Okay, we have answered Srinidhi, so I'm unpinning it. Let's go back to Dr. Ashwant. We are going to pin him because having wishes are always good. Good evening to everyone again. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Srinidhi, for replying. Thanks a lot. So that's the basic definition of it. So code, forget about code. We will get a very small glimpse of what code is. So website has images, video, text, and code. Forget code. We will touch on code tomorrow. That's what makes a website. But let's go back to the immensely talented Elon Musk. He doesn't have images. There are no pages in it. As the definition says, like, let me stack these two beside each other. So what this says, come on. So this says related web pages under a domain name is a website. But in x.com, the website of Elon Musk, do you think there are any related content in it? There is none. There is absolutely no content in it, but it is still a website. So the traditional definition of what a website has changed because things have changed and they are more dynamic now than ever. So x.com is also a website, simple and simple. Normally, websites will have images, videos. It might have images. Everything is optional. Code is also optional. Like, let me show you what his has. So this is the source code. He doesn't even added HTML. Like, it's not even anything. It's just a text like X, and that's it. That's the website's code. I will show you how I opened the source code and everything. But this is the entire code for this website. Nothing else. It's just an X. That's it. Oh, sorry. The traditional thing has changed. One second. Notes, no notes. Okay, I need notes. I made notes here, which I have not been using. I think he only made a blank page and bought the domain and then hosted. Notes. Okay, let's discuss. That's a very interesting story. How he got his domain back. I like him. I appreciate. I look up to him very much. So let me cover it a little bit. I pinned it. He made, yes, he just made a blank page. It's just a blank page. X.com, he got it back. So initially he created the first electronic payments thing, which is now called PayPal. He sold PayPal before PayPal was called PayPal. It was called X.com. He sold it. Along with everything, when you're selling a website, you also sell the domain with it in most cases. So he sold the domain, and PayPal used to have the rights of X.com. Now, what they did as just a token of appreciation or something, they just gave the X.com to Elon Musk again. Now, Elon Musk has it. He might do something with it. He's just saying that I have it. There is nothing else. That's just live. Maybe it's like memories of the old time. It's just that's it. That's the backstory of X.com. I think I will also. I got distracted. I just want to cover one example of .tld. Okay, I will just a question. There is a very interesting story on how much money you can make from selling and buying domains. If you want me to cover it, just drop a message saying yes. If S cover S, just S will be enough. Drop a message saying yes, and I will cover that story on the domain selling and buying. That's it. Okay, that's what a website is. Do you think we should take a break for a couple of minutes, maybe 10 minutes or something? Because I see some people are just left. So maybe it's been 1 hour, 20 minutes till now. So people might even I'm like, normally our attention span is less than this. So if you just want a small break, just tell me. We can take a quick break. You just need to be fresh on the top of your mind. You should be 100%. So a small break, if it helps, we will go with it. If you want a break, just comment break. We will take a 10 minutes break. I will be here drinking some water, eat some sweet. And I forgot Happy Dasra. Happy Dasra to all of you. Forgot, absolutely forgot. Maybe 5 minutes, just one. Sure. We will take at least a 5 minutes break, as Prabhu said. If you want more time, just comment in it. And one more thing, if you haven't joined the group, join the group, please. Please join the group. That's just me making funny faces. Join the group. It's going to be great. Maybe 5 minutes, sure. Okay, let's take a 5 minutes break. It's 7:20. 7:25. We will come back at 7:25. Comment break for 5 minutes. Sure. Break of 10 minutes. Soumya. Okay. 10 minutes. Sure. 10 minutes. We will do the break for 10 minutes. I will get some water. I drank everything in this bottle. So another break. Happy Dasra, bro. Thank you, bro. So Will Code is actually my brother. He's just like trying to make the mood lighter by making me laugh. So happy Dasra, Abhi. We will take a break for 10 minutes. So it will be 7:30 sharp. We will come back. Durga Puja happening. Man, I cannot thank you enough. You are having. Sure, Manikanta, we will approve all the group requests by after if I get just couple of minutes, I will make other person admin so he can accept all the requests. He will add all of you. Okay. 10 minutes. We will be back in here by 7:30. Just everyone here, please join. We will touch on other things and end the session. Tomorrow we will what we will do. We will explain what HTML, CSS, and JavaScript does. We will not code or develop websites tomorrow, but third day it's going. You will design websites and you will say, "How come it is so easy, Jashwant?" That's how easy it is going to be. Take it. I will stop talking, and let's take a small break. We will be back at 7:30 sharp. Thank you for joining. One second. I what I will do is I will turn off my microphone. It will go full screen, and I will turn off my microphone. Hi guys, we're back. I just wanted to check if there is something pinned or not. Let me go to this live settings here. Okay, can we pin this? Hi guys, we're back. Remove report. Okay, we cannot pin something. So what I will do is I will change the description. Can I change the description now? Okay. Hi, I will just wait for 2 minutes and add the webinar link, webinar registration link, and the group link. WordPress. Let's see. Let's copy this. We need this. That's there. And webinar registration link is learnwp.codegnan.com. Let's copy this too. Let's paste this. Webinar registration link. So added both. Okay, we cannot add arrows. Domain cost. What is the cost of a domain? Okay, one minute. I just want to check if the description has updated or not. After that, there is a question. Okay, we got both the links. They are working, so we are good. I was supposed to cover how to buy a domain and how to buy hosting, but we will not be doing it today or in this webinar because it's like a buying process. To give you the best experience, we need to buy it in the real time. So how much will the cost of domains? I'm just covering it. Praveen also asked the same question. Avinash also asked the same question. I'm covering it. Wait, you're saying this, right? Okay. Let me go to what? Hi, welcome back, everyone. So, Praveen and Avinash asked the same question: how much the domain cost? So we know before Prabhu asked. I think it was Prabhu. Correct me if I'm wrong. Prabhu asked, "What is the difference between .com, .in, .io, etc." So they're definitely different TLDs. They are top level domains, different extensions. They all cost differently. So a domain cost depends upon which TLD it is and from whom you are buying. So there are people who are called, you buy domains from domain registrars. They are people who are allowed to sell the domains to people like us. So .com actually costs 860 rupees. If you see, let's say jashwantch.com is already taken. So let's type jashwantch.com, jashwantch1.com. So .com price is 860 per year from Google domains. If you buy it from someone else, it will be cheaper or it will be expensive. But Back with the bang. Yes. Hi, Prabhu. Welcome back. Welcome back, everyone. I'm really happy that most of the people who, like nearly everyone who was watching before, came back even after the break. Thank you for that. So, what we are covering now is how much a domain costs. The price actually varies. So, this website, so what this does is the domain name is DOMComp, which is short for domain comparisons. So when you're buying a domain, you compare everything. You compare everything and you decide the best one, which is best for you. I was trying to buy these stuffs, but I was stuck in Google Webmaster and domain buying. I didn't understand, like, where did you got confused? Like, was it in Google you got confused? So when, okay, let's get into it. We will not buy a domain, but I will make a video. But we will make a video and upload it in the website, maybe in the website as a blog, but definitely in the WordPress group. So join the group. It's free, and everyone you can directly contact me. Or it's great way to interact with everyone else. We can learn from everyone. So why I brought domain comparison? Because why, like, there is a different pricing from every registrar. Like, not everyone is selling at the same price. And if you go to GoDaddy and if you are a new user, you can get a .com domain for 99 rupees. But it's not cheap. But it's not cheaper than 860. I think it's like for anyone to buy a domain, .com domain, it will cost them $14, I think. So there is a fixed price that everyone has to buy for a .com, but GoDaddy does it for way less price because they will take the loss for time being, and they know that they will get profits or gain more money from you after some time. So if you are looking to get, like, you should not think about 1 year. Again, you are not buying a domain, you are contracting it. You are taking it on a timely based. You have to return it back to them if you don't pay the money. Understand? You are not buying the domain. It's like what it's like Zoom car. It's like a Zoom car subscription. So it's like a Wink subscription or Amazon Music or Apple Music. It's a subscription. You take it for a time, and you have to give it back after your time is completed, or if you are not paying them money back. So you should not think about one time or upfront thing. You should also look at the renewals. Just1cs.com, I bought it for 1 year. After 1 year, I go to them and pay money to use it for one more year. So you should not just look at what is the price for the first time. You should also look at the renewals. So that's why I brought DOMCom. So if you see, the cheapest way to buy a domain, wait, let me go full screen again. So the cheapest way to buy, what's happening? Okay, the cheapest way to buy a domain is from Pork1. So I just opened it, but it's not accessible. I don't know why. Pork1. The second cheapest is from GoDaddy. But if we look at renewals, Pork1 is still the cheapest, but GoDaddy is not here. See, GoDaddy is nowhere. It's $9.99. It's nearly $10. Okay. So Pork1 is easily the best way to buy .com domain. It's like Amazon Prime. The right example that everyone can immediately understand is put by Praveen. Thank you. It's exactly like Amazon Prime. You buy it 1 year, they won't give you forever. They will ask you after 1 year, pay us money. So you have to pay them money again. We have to pay them again, and the next year, and the next year. It's the same thing with domains, but you can buy it for 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 5 year, 10 years, something like that. So there are times, I think the longest is like 10 or 50. I am not exactly sure. I think it's 10. So when you are buying anything, .com, .in, .io, anything, you come to this website. I will add this in the group. The resources, everything, I will add this in the group. Wait, let me write this. Okay. So DomComp helps us compare everything, and this is the best way to buy things for a longer time. So if you buy for 1 year, for like how much is GoDaddy taking for 1 year? GoDaddy is taking 499. Okay. If you thought 499 is around 300 rupees, let's say 249 you are getting in India, you will get it for even lesser, even less. And to renew you are going to pay $15. It's not correct because you can do it for $8.6 from Pork One. So that's it. I am expecting that I have answered your question, and the best resource is to do it yourself. Tell about site visiting and revenue generation. Site visiting and revenue generation. Should I cover it right now? What I will do is, Saumidip, I will create a webinar on case studies. My studies were well. I was not okay. So what I will do is I will create a separate webinar which will cover how we can make money from the websites that we make, either by building websites or using it as a blogging platform. That's revenue generation. Okay, comment money if you want me to talk more about right now. If you want me to talk more about revenue generation from website building, I will. It was not planned in this webinar. It was not at all planned, but it's the most important thing right now. How to make money from the skills that you have. Okay, just comment it. I will go over it for like 10 to 15 minutes, but we will not be able to cover the things that were planned for today, but it's completely fine. More important thing than the schedules is you getting the information that you intended to get. Sure, brother. Sure, brother. Okay. So that's it. This is the best place to buy domains. You can buy domains, but don't buy domains from them. You choose that platform. If Pokemon is good, go with Pokemon. Let's say there has to be IN somewhere. Let's forget it. There will be IN somewhere. So IN Dino dot is the cheapest place to get a domain .in, and the renewals. So it's the renewal. Sorry. So .in, again, GoDaddy is selling .in for $399. It's very inexpensive. It's very affordable. But if you are looking at renewals for renewal. Okay. See, GoDaddy is selling for the first user. It is selling for $399. If you are thinking of renewing, it's $12. It's expensive. So Dino dot is sending $399 for the first time, and renewal is $499. It's very good. So Dino dot is still the better place to renew your website. So that's it. Domain is done. We will cover hosting very soon. First thing we have to understand how many types of hostings are there. Okay, let's get back to it. Coming back to this, we got sidetracked, but gaining knowledge is never sidetracked. So what is a website? You know, a website is a group of things, or even a single thing. Anything on the internet which can be accessed through a domain or an IP is a website. So you make your own definitions by the knowledge that we have. So what is hosting? One second, please. So hosting is basically, we all know what hosting is. We will go in detail about understanding what types of hostings are there and what actually does hosting means. So hosting is just a computer which will have your content. Content can be anything. For Elon Musk, it is just a letter X. Even for that, he needs a server because he has to understand who is requesting it. And there are far more technical things like sometimes you don't want people coming to your website from specific countries. Sometimes there are different types of servers, different operating systems on that servers. So that's completely, if we just keep all those beside, we just kick them out of the place. hosting is just a place where you can put all the files, as we have seen before. Code, which can be anything. Code is just code. We will talk what code is. Images, videos, and text. Just think all those. We have to place them somewhere in our website, in our computer, in our laptop. What we do is okay, I thought I messed up the USB hub, but it's working fine, so we are good. So in our computer, there is a separate drive where we save all the movies, separate drive where we save all the music, separate folder maybe. So in the same way, we will need some place to host or place our things. That is called hosting. It's just a environment where we put all our files. Again, there are different types of hosting. From this, where it gets technical, maybe a little bit technical, but a lot confusing. So shared, cloud, VPS, and dedicated. These are the types of hosting that is available to us. So when you go to hosting any hosting provider, let me show one thing which Soumyadip said. Hostinger. If you go to Hostinger, immediately they will not say, okay, you give me 90 rupees, I will host the website. They won't say that. This, no, stay on hostinger.com. If you go to hosting and you click, there are different things. Okay, you forget about these two, but look at this. Shared web hosting and cloud web hosting. Again, there is also VPS. Forget this. There is different types of hosting. Shared, cloud, there is also VPS. There is also something which is called technical, not technical, it is called dedicated server. Okay, we will cover what, like it's a technical jargon. It's like a database. I will cover, just give me 1 second. I will just cover these things and then it will get more clear, like very clear. What is a hosting? Is just a place where we host all our content in our website. There is shared, cloud, VPS, and dedicated. So what does a hosting provide? Hosting provider gives you processing power. Okay, I'm not visible. Let's make myself visible. Think no, not this big. This is enough. So hosting provider gives you CPU, RAM, hard disk or SSD, and internet. Internet is the essential thing because you have to communicate. The communication has to be done through the internet. Internet is the layer where we talk. We are talking because only because of internet. So my system needs internet. Your system also needs it. So that's it. Just leave it. So CPU gives the processing power. RAM is for primary memory. Hard disk is the secondary memory, and all those things. So when you go there, you have to consider processing power, RAM, how much RAM that your server will give you, secondary memory, and bandwidth. So these are the things that a hosting provider will give you. But as we said, these are there are four things. Let's put cloud and VPS in a single container. If we have to understand both of them, what is the distinguishable thing in between, it will be confusing at the very beginning. Maybe later when we start deploying our website, maybe then we will think about it. But for now, forget it. Think cloud and VPS are the same. They are not. Just for the simplicity's sake, cloud and VPS are the same. So we will cover what shared, dedicated, and VPS are. So shared hosting is like apartments. Apartments are like, let's say they are apartments. So in apartments, there are very limited resources. So in the previous slide, we saw these are the resources. Everything that you are seeing, these are the resources. Resources are nothing but things you need. They are called resources, another word, technical jargon. So the things that you need are called resources. The resources hosting provider gives you are CPU, RAM, hard disk, and internet. In the same way, when you think about houses, the resources that you need are electricity, water, let's say electricity, water, and what else? Maybe shades, maybe swimming pool. Let's say the most essential things are electricity and water. So let's say in the share, what happens in the shared, in apartments is an example of shared hosting. In apartment, what happens is there are a couple of transformers which will give you the electricity. They like transformers are again connected to the main line. Main line are connected to transformers. From transformers, you get the electricity. The problem, like we can see, what happens is in summers in our home, in the area that we live in, some of the transformers get overloaded and they explode. Even though they are repaired now very quickly, they are exploded because of the load on them. They cannot tolerate it. So the problem is the shared resources. The resources are shared. It's the same electricity line. And if someone is using so much water, again, the apartments will have 2 to 3 resources to get the water from. If someone is using so much of water, you will get less water. And someone is using so much of electricity and overloads the transformer, you will not have electricity. That's the thing with shared. It's affordable, it's not so expensive, and you don't have to maintain everything. You have to bear the disadvantages of which comes with the shared hosting. So shared hostings are like apartments which are sharing resources. Understand? Again, VPS are a bit different. You will have your own homes maybe, but again, there are also shared resources. Understand? So even VPS have, they definitely have better resources. Instead of 2 to 3 transformers, they might be a dozen of transformers, but again, they are still getting the same things. They are a common thing. That's still the problem, but it is not so much overpopulated as in shared. VPS are less populated and they are far more powerful things. When it comes to dedicated, you have everything for yourself. Electricity line just comes to your home, water just comes to your home. You can even see. Okay, understood. That's good. Tech hub. 1 minute, I will just complete it. So that's the difference. Rented house. Rented house is again shared house. Again, the metaphor or the example is not 100% there, but you can, like when someone asks you what is shared, you can say that the resources are shared. There might be a problem. Other tenant uses more RAM, more traffic. You might have a problem with that. That's the reason putting these two metaphor exam things together. Is it clear? The example, putting the example has been very, like, took some time, but it's the right thing. And to make it easier, just one more thing, you can understand this as this, like housing is hosting, and website, the first two things, website is we. Understand? Housing housing is for us. In the same way, hosting is for website. We are the content in the houses. In the same way, hosting is not the real content. Website is the real content. As we are the real content in housing, hosting is the place where website real content lies in. Understand? Thank you. And I hope it has been very clear. So this we will touch on tomorrow. There are many ways to build. Hosting is clear, domain is clear, website is clear. Everything, we have built a very rock solid foundation. Okay, foundations are solid now. We understand if we are going out. Okay, let me give you some use cases. When you have to buy shared, when you have to buy VPS, when you have to buy dedicated. Understand? Like if you don't want, if your website is getting very little traffic, when you get started, our website gets very little traffic, then anything is fine. Then shared is very fine. You go with shared because you don't care if there are people coming, so you go with shared. Then like VPS and cloud are sort of managed things. You don't have the technical knowledge to have the dedicated server, then you go with VPS. What comes with VPS? They will have security. They will have some easier things to get started. So if you are getting started, you go with shared. If you have super knowledge on hosting and everything, but again, let me tell you, dedicated hosting takes a toll on you. Like it's not the way to go. But if you have the person to take care of things for you, then go with dedicated. It's raw powerhouse. It's like the tiger which can take on anything, or the lion which can take on anything. Dedicated is super powerful. It comes with no other things that you don't need. But VPS is somewhere in between. It is nearly, it can be powerful as a dedicated server, but it also comes with the flexibility of a shared hosting. One example is, if you are building your own home, you have to take care of the paints and stuff and everything. You have to take care of the land and everything, build strong basements. But with apartments, you don't do that. But with gated community or VPS, you don't do that. So VPS have both the benefits from a share. You don't have to take care of everything. Again, you can have the power of a dedicated server. That's what. I'm not saying it's ideal for everyone, but it's like a compromise of both things. I hope so one question is, if you are just starting now, which hosting category or type will you need? That's one question. Okay, you can answer it afterwards. There are many ways. I will wrap it up here, but tomorrow we will cover it. From here it will be as I said, building the things is very important. Okay, I made a small banner. Let me scroll it for a while. Okay, first day for fundamentals, second day for finding what suits us, third day we will build the websites. That's it. Let's go back to comments. Now there are many ways. So custom coding is when we do everything, like we write the code and we do everything. Templates are like we take them and we edit them and we say it's done. CMS are content management systems, where I would say they are the sweet spot. So this is what we will cover tomorrow. And tomorrow, maybe I will, if time permits, I will make a PDF and a web page where we cover every terminology. Not every, I cannot cover everything. So most of the terminologies that I can come up with. So big giants like Amazon and Flipkart. See this guy. See, TechHub, very aptly put. You have understood things better. Yes, tech people like companies like Amazon, Flipkart, they have their own dedicated server. What they are called server. They're cities or something. They are like farms. They are called server farms. They have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of servers in a very cold place normally, because servers produce a lot of heat. So they are in a cold place. I hope you understood. Tomorrow we will understand what suits you. Okay, we will cover this tomorrow, Prabhu. Like, why are companies still using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript when WordPress is there to make easy? I love WordPress, but as everything in the world has its own place, WordPress has its own place, and custom coding, as you're saying, with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript has its own place. We will cover tomorrow. The first topic that we'll do that is advantages with everything and disadvantages with everything. My name is Santosh Nadella. Sure, Santosh, thanks a lot for that question. Thanks a lot for that question. Okay, this is the end of the today's thing. We have built strong foundations. From tomorrow, we will understand what is right for you. One request that I would like to, one request I'm placing for all of you is share this webinar, because this presentation it's visually very good, and this presentation took some solid time. The website loads in less than a second, which also took a lot of time. Other sessions followed after this will also be this engaging. I try to make that engaging, and if I make mistakes, I accept them. On the next webinar, I try to not make the same mistakes again. So if there are mistakes that I've done in this session, I will try to overcome. So I'm just saying the next sessions will be better than this one, and more engaging. I try to make them more engaging. So the request is, ask other people to join the webinar. If you know someone who is trying to build a website, if they're trying to take their business online, if they're trying to make a career out of web development, do something. if one plugin gets deleted from a website, what will happen? Okay, so let me complete this. There are two WordPress related questions. I will go in deep with them. Share the webinar link, ask them to register, and also ask them to join the group. Both the links are in the description, in the YouTube's description. The more the people are here, the more like energetic I will become. Like after I saw 18 people, I was like, hey, I got 18 people without doing any kind of marketing. I just posted it on my WhatsApp. They were very good friends of mine who shared it on their WhatsApp as their WhatsApp status. I didn't even ask them, but they did. Like they are so kind at the heart. They did it. I'm very thankful to them, and I'm also very thankful for all of you. I just want this to be for everyone. Like you can start things with WordPress, with web development very quicker than most people think. What I have is I have learned from my mistakes I have done in the 5 years. You don't have to do that. You can start from where I am right now. Just share and ask your friends who might get benefit out of this. The entire session is recorded, and we will upload this immediately to the WordPress group. So if someone has to catch up, they can just start from tomorrow after watching the 2 hours video. Please share this with friends whom you have, and thanks a lot for joining. So that would be it for today. And I would ask Prabhu Kiran and Soumyadeep Saha to stay for a couple of minutes. I would answer both those things. More people to come tomorrow. I really wish it's the case. The one thing I would be happy is like if we have like peak watching was 17. If we have 12 people watching tomorrow or 10 people, it would be more than happy, because it was supposed to be for 2 people, then it grew to 20 people. If more people come tomorrow, it's win-win. It would be even great. Prabhu Kalyan and Soumyadeep make a Telegram group. The problem with thank you, Santosh, for saying the webinar is awesome. It means a lot. Words like that will make me make more videos like this. And for interactive videos, there will be one deep bootcamp for 7 or 5 days where you will be technically sound WordPress developer who can design anything not anything, but most of the things in WordPress. And thanks a lot for staying more. But let me put a slide. It's nearly. Thanks a lot. Let's have a great day. No. We need to change this. We will change this to a title. Thank you for joining. But Soumyadeep and Prabhu has to stay here because you asked question. And that's it. That's it for today. Okay, let me make this big. What? Let me delete this. You go. You stay. Prabhu and Soumyadeep. Okay. Thanks a lot for joining. Bring your friends tomorrow. We will have a great session, and day after tomorrow you will build your own website. Okay. Thank you for staying. Okay. Soumyadeep, you asked me, like, first thing was asked by Prabhu Kalyan. Prabhu, you asked, like, why are companies using HTML, CSS, JavaScript, etc. when there is WordPress to make jobs easy? I am a WordPress webmaster and I'm very passionate about WordPress. I like it a lot. The companies need custom solutions sometimes, but most of the solutions, zarur aayega. Nice. Okay. So why are companies still using HTML, CSS? The thing is, like, in most cases, most of the companies' requirements match with WordPress things, but there are cases which don't match with WordPress requirements. To put simply, WordPress is a content management system, but it's not a data management system. It's not intended to be data heavy. Like if you have a user who just keeps on messaging someone, what happens is WordPress have a default post type as post type. And that post type is not as light as a single data entry. It has other information related to it. So websites which just need a single page, they can be done with HTML, CSS. So there is no point in having a content management system when we are actually not doing content management system. Okay, I better example will be there are 3 use cases. One, they don't have any content, they don't have any data. So why need WordPress? Don't use WordPress. Take a HTML page, edit it, take the HTML template as put it in the second thing, edit it and put it there, done. Website done. खत्म हो गया, बस उसको छोड़ दो ऐसा. So that's simple thing. Don't need content management systems. And two complex things. Like if you take an example of Facebook, it needs so much of data, so much of algorithms, so much of things happening in the front end. They need way more things. Understand? So WordPress is a very small solution which they cannot fit for the enterprise level. Understand? So even that case, WordPress doesn't fit them because they have more data. Understand? So having more data or having very less content is not the place where WordPress fits in. If you just have a single page, WordPress is kind of heavy for it. But that single page, when it needs a live chat, or it needs a form submission, or it needs to have SEO properly done, or it needs to have, let's say, commenting or blogging, then comes WordPress into the picture. I hope that I have answered your question very well. But tomorrow it will be way more clear why we are going with WordPress. Second thing, okay, one question is, if one plugin gets deleted from my WordPress site, what will happen? So plugins, in the true sense, they add functionality. They are like apps in our smartphones. So you might get bored tomorrow, because if we cover things today, you will know them tomorrow. You might get bored and you might leave, but don't do that. You stay tomorrow, even I'm repeating the same thing. I hope that you will stay, brother. Okay, so what will happen? So let's say you need a live chat on your website, as example given to Prabhu. If you are adding a live chat to the website and you remove the plugin, you are just taking that functionality away. Nothing will happen. But if your plugin is doing very complicated thing on your website and you take that functionality, sometimes website might even not load. So when you're deactivating or deleting a plugin, just be careful that it is not so critical for your website. Understand? So that's what happens. The plugins are for functionality and themes are for design. So examples would be, themes are like mobile launchers and plugins are like applications on our smartphone. So that's it. I hope that I answered both of the questions that you put forward. It was not needed for everyone. That's why I didn't present to it everyone and ask them to say bye for today. Thanks a lot for all the questions, Prabhu and Soumya, that you put. Like also Tech Hub, you put some really interesting questions that I had that was helpful in the long run. Maybe tomorrow I would have covered them. But thanks a lot for bringing them today. And that's it. So that's it for today. I really hope that the one thing, I will be extremely satisfied if 10 people attended tomorrow, because I don't want to lose anyone. So it says that people are not happy with not satisfied with why they came. I don't want that to happen, but I cannot help if people leave. So very, very heartfelt thanks to all of you for coming here. And tomorrow we will go in detail about what technologies, and maybe, just maybe, we might get a hands-on experience. We might start learning more about WordPress. We might get into WordPress Dashboard and stuff. That's the most important thing, WordPress Dashboard, and understanding every option in that. Third day, we will build our own website. It's not actually building, but it's kind of building. So that's what WordPress is. You don't actually build. You use things like Lego blocks. You connect them. You get your own website. That's the case. More than 10 for sure. Let's see. You should bring at least 2 more people, Prabhu. Like, I hope. Please send the feedback link. We don't have the feedback link. I think I should have brought it up. Ashwant, regarding the feedback link, we will get a feedback link tomorrow. Come tomorrow, give us the feedback, and okay. come tomorrow, give us the feedback. We will give you the link. So what do you like? Do you want a place where on Facebook or on Google, do you want to give specific review to the webinar? Like just a little more information would help me in giving you the right answer. So Dr. Yashwant Kumar, thanks a lot for joining. Prabhu, thanks a lot for joining. Srujana, thanks a lot for joining. Santosh Nadella, thanks a lot for joining. Swamideep, thanks a lot for joining. Thanks a lot. Have a great day. Join us tomorrow for sure. If you think it has been informative and the other sessions will be more information, please bring some of your friends. That's already noted. Definitely bring. Yeah. Thank you. I hope I will have more energy tomorrow. I think I've already like shouted a lot. If the audio was more, I will try to keep it low tomorrow. Just tell me. And thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. I'm ending the session right now. Have a great day. Bye. Have a sound sleep too. Very important. Bye-bye. Take care. Bye. Let me type bye. Thanks for teaching us. Thanks a lot. The privilege has been mine, Soumyadeep. You have been wonderful audience and learners. Hope we can do it for more time. Take care. Lord. Okay. Geo. Okay, I don't understand what geo here means. New comments. We must say thank you. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Thank you. I don't want the session to end abruptly with having like 10 plus viewers. That's why I'm waiting for someone to leave, but no one is leaving. So I will leave. Bye.